zone. It's a little too high. Under it is Diego Cuesta Silva, and the good possession back there from Minguez to Porta, and Porta looking cool, calm and collected. He has so much time to do everything. And with me I've got former Springbok and Western Province fly half and centre Dave Stewart, and I think, Dave, if Porta has a good game, that'll mean quite a thing for the Springboks.
Yes, as you said, he has so much time to do everything. Well, we're looking for a bit more authority from the Springboks today, a bit more control, moving the ball down the back line, letting Mort and Carl Du Plessis get into the game.
And Louis Moelman there getting his first line-out ball, didn't quite manage to freeze onto it, and Diep van Serfontein couldn't do much else than push the ball out. Now throwing in is Diego Cash. There is Rudi Versace. Behind him, Rob Lowe in the sunshine. And Diep Kula tried to get a very good pass there out of Porta, Tornej, Diego Cuesta Silva in a gap. This could be dangerous. He's got his wing with him. Out to the left of Palmer, but he didn't get his pass in. And cleaning up. Anton Barnard doing good work there for the Springboks. And Serfontein back there to Dani Gerba. Good kick into the box. Difficult one for Sansot over his head. And there is Palmer covering very well. Dodges Carl Du Plessis, but tackled there by Rob Lowe. And the South Americans going to get this loose ball. Good possession from the loose. And Minguez, McGinn's the number 8. Porta caught in possession. Don't often see that. Tornej in a gap. This could be very dangerous again. And a good kick by Tornej puts them onto the attack. That is the Springbok 22-meter line. So far, the Jaguars winning the loose ball, being very quick to the point of breakdown.
Yes, McGinn's at strong off, going in very bravely there to control that ball.
Chris Rogers to throw in. He's been practicing his throw-ins, and Louis Moelman going for it very well. Back to Tobias from Serfontein, and a good kick by Tobias. That'll put him right for the game. He had a lot of pressure from Cash, the hooker, and from Thomas Peterson, the blonde flank forward, but he did what he had to do. Diego Cash again. Referee wanting those two separate lines. Tap back by Ure. Coming round is Minguez, number 8 forward, but a big penalty for... Yes, Dave, against Adi Strauss, he seemed to point at.
Yes, quite definitely Adi Strauss. Going in a little carelessly, that's unnecessary. You can't give away penalties there.
Well, this is a very good opportunity for Hugo Porta. It's midway between the Springbok 22 and the halfway line, and it's about 16 meters in from the far touchline. It's from the side that Porta will prefer, with the posts away to his right. There he is, perhaps the greatest fly half playing today. And it's got the distance. Wait for it all the way, and the Spanish-speaking side go into the lead after only 3 minutes of play, with a penalty by Hugo Porta and a very important kick to get.
Very, very important. That was slightly into the breeze. The Jaguars appear to have won the toss because the Springboks kicked off, so they're leading here, playing into the wind. And
taken there by Milano, and a good packer forwards there again. Dengra doing good work, and Thomas Peterson, McGinn's, Porta almost slipping as he kicked, as he evaded the attentions of Rob Lowe. Interesting, using the foot furthest away from the touchline. Got his kick in. That's Gustavo Milano. John Bird in front of him. And it's Chris Rogers to throw near the halfway line. Taken there by Rudi Versace. Good ball back to Serfontein. And a kick is going to go over the try line. And what will Marcelo Campo do? Decided to play conservatively, as it was Serfontein himself following up.
And if there's one way of wasting the advantage of the wind, that's the way to do it. If Serfontein's going to kick kicks like that, I mean, really kicking into no man's land there, the Springboks aren't going to gain any control at all.
Porta, under it for Sachi. Didn't take it cleanly. And see how quickly these South Americans come into the loose. They got it again there. And good work by Milano and Minguez. But the Springboks could arrest this ball from them. Very tight, loose ruck there, and the referee decides that it will not emerge, so there'll be a set scrum. Springbok ball. Jaguars leading 3-0. And Serfontein will want to get this ball. So will Rogers, holding it in the back row. Mallet picking up on the far side, trying to barge through, helped by Rob Lowe. But Springboks should get this ball back. They're going forward. Serfontein himself going in for it. Tobias misses out Donny Gerber. A long one out to Carl du Plessis. He's going to beat his man. And the cover defense coming across is Porter there. Porter might get the try all the way. Carl du Plessis. Lovely score by the great Springbok winger. There he is. Obviously delighted. But a lovely crowd in this lovely try, and the big crowd really enjoying that.
There we have it again. Watch Serfontein pull that ball out. Down to Tobias, who skips Michael du Plessis, and then the long pass to Carl, and watch him move so easily. Inside fullback, Sansot, and one of those tries that Carl makes look so easy. And not many wings would have scored.
Interesting, it's Donny Gerber taking the conversion and not Errol Tobias. 15 metres in, and he's hit it well. He just didn't move in quite enough, and the Springboks leading 4-3 by a try to a penalty goal. And there you can see it, 6 minutes gone in the first half.
Here we have the other view. Serfontein to Tobias. Tobias skips Donny Gerber, and Michael du Plessis gives the long pass to Carl, and watch him outside Sansot. And steps inside the cover, and there's no stopping him. A typical du Plessis try.
Despairing dive by Hugo Porter, trying to ankle tap him, but Carl du Plessis running so strongly, and I think this crowd really will be in a good mood now, because they saw a lovely curtain raiser where the varsity side beat defence. We saw a super try by a young wing called de Grand Pré, long run, and it was a super game for a curtain raiser. 19-18, open rugby, and the crowd are hoping that they'll get a similar type of rugby now. Serfontein, scrum collapsing on the far side, and the Springbok tight head. Van Serfontein deciding to kick himself. Ray Moore chasing it all the way, but the ball has too many legs for both Donny Gerber and Ray Moore. This line-out's going to be on the Jaguars' 22-metre line. There's Chris Rogers. And thrown in by Cash. Back to Ure, but bursting through is Kulu Ferreira. Now there's the platform. Serfontein to Tobias. Michael du Plessis out to his brother, and there's Kiernes. Johan Kiernes cutting back inside, wanting to pick up some defence. Tackled by Tournage on the 22 of the Jaguars. In goes Milano, and Porter waiting for it. But back it comes to Michael du Plessis, but the referee not happy. There was a slight knock forward, and it's the Jaguars' ball. John Bird on the tight head.
So noticeable, check that as soon as the ball's gone along the line, the Springboks look to be in complete control. Rob Lowe comes into the game, and they start really getting good control of the ball.
That's Porta, a very good kick from his own 22. There he is. 4-3, the Springboks leading after 9 minutes in the first half. Front of the line-out is Serafin Dengra, who had such a great game. That's Ati Strauss. Behind him is Rudy Versace. Where will this go? Moorman, two-handed catch, beautiful, but I think that is for perhaps lifting in the line-out. Yes, the referee clearly saying that's for the Springboks being lifted in the line-out. They were penalised twice in Pretoria for that during last Saturday's test, and the referee, Monsieur Urquet from France, being very definite there with his decision. And it's good that he gets onto these things early on in the game, and it'll make the Springboks resist any temptation to do that again.
I think what made it more noticeable, there seemed to be a bit of a timing breakdown between Chris Rogers and Moorman. Then Moorman went up a little bit early and made it a bit more obvious, I think.
Yes, so Porta with a kick from about 7 meters in front of halfway, and he's hit it beautifully. No, but it's just to the right of the post. Hunis takes it and dotted down, 22 dropout. And up to block it is Diego Cash, number 2. Tobias getting his guys behind him, kicks off the other way. Chasing it is Jose Maria Palma and Sansot. Sansot taking it. And that rolling kick, very well controlled. There he is, Martin Sansot. Had a fine rugby career until in 79 he was injured against the All Blacks. Now he's making a comeback. Played very well in Pretoria last week. Chris Rogers. There's Mr. Steve Stradom behind him, the touch judge. Number 7 is Ure at the back. And he tapped it back. Good work by Pedersen. Thomas Pedersen going back in. No wanted from this ruck. But the referee has blown up, has decided it will not come down, and Springbok ball. That's the Springbok 10 meter. I see how flat the Argentinian chaps line up when it's the other team to put the ball in, almost parallel with the halfway line. Interesting that the Springboks using the method of skipping a man to get it out to the wings, missing out one of the centres to get it down the line before their adversaries up on them. And a good kick by Serfontein, a lovely rolling kick round the blind side. Stefan Serfontein playing his 19th test and his 2nd as captain. He's played over 100 games for Western Province. And here he is in front of his home crowd. Sometimes called the Little General, very much in command at the moment. And can the Springboks win this line out? It's Cash to throw in. They'll probably use the back of the line out a lot today with Ernesto Ure, number 7 right at the back. Where will this one go? Just outside the Jaguars 22, went right to the front of the line out there, and Gustavo Milano going in, but referee not happy that it was straight. He asked the Springboks what they want. They could have another line out, but they choose the scrum. And interesting, the referee going around the other side to watch the collapsing of the scrum on Ati Strauss's side. Picked up a Mallet, blind side, Mallet the little dummy, trying to get his pass away. In goes Kulu Ferreira to try to get back for the Springboks. And last man in, Anton Barnard, playing his 2nd test. Kulu Ferreira, whose real name is Petrus Stefanus, comes from Kroonstad, as does the other former Northern Transvaal flanker. And waiting for it, Serfontein to Tobias. Terba misses out a man again. Carl Dubus out to Johan Hunis. Knocked forward, referee waiting for advantage. In there is Cuesta Silva and Sansot, helped by Ure. And Marcelo Campo going in as well into the ruck. The referee wants a set scrum. Last man up, Kulu Ferreira. Burger Geldernees is the other chap from Kroonstad. And put it in is Migens, Javier Migens, brother of the fullback, not playing today, Porta. And that's a well-controlled kick, well taken by Hunis in the air, back into his 22, so that he can kick directly into touch. And a very generous round of applause from the Western Province crowd for the Northern Transvaaler.
Yes, he's a very special player, Johan Hunis. When we arrived in New Zealand a couple of years ago in 81, we were picked up by Ivan Vodanovic, the old All Black coach. And he said if there was one player he would like to have in the All Black side from the Springbok side, it'd be Johan Hunis.
Yes, he comes from George. His brother Chris played for Eastern Province at one stage. And that's Minguez, back inside to Dengra, Thomas Pedersen. And lovely possession, Migens. Out to Porta. Porta, little dummy. Had Ure with him, but he's dispossessed. Rob Lowe, good tackle indeed. Good work by Mallet. And back to Serfontein. He hasn't found touch, but is into the no-man's lane. Coming across for it is Sansot into his quarter. And directly into touch, but not one he'll be pleased with. It slid off the side of his foot. So this line out about midway between the Jaguars 22 and a half the line. There's Louis Moorman playing his 20th test. But it's gone to the back to Kula Ferreira and kicked on by Milano. The referee says it was knocked forward. Jaguars ball. John Bird scrumming against Anton Barnard. John Bird, the first Uruguayan player to play for the Jaguars. Miguens. The referee says it hasn't gone in properly. Must pass the required number of feet. No tight heads so far in this match. Diego Cash hooking. That came out the mouth of the scrum, and the referee obviously not happy. A free kick, 4 foot up, indicating not a penalty. You can't go directly. Quick one here to Mallet from Serfontein out to Roblo. Roblo inside of Ferreira, and Ferreira giving it back to Louis Moorman. Louis Moorman well tackled by Porta, Hugo Porta, who knocked the big man out to touch.
Good quick thinking rugby there by the Springboks. Nice to see them moving quickly. They had immediately put the Jaguars under pressure.
And they're within 10 meters of their opponent's line. Diego Cash to throw in. Milano trying to get it, but the Springboks have it, I think. Fisagi controlling it. Back to Serfontein. Tobias. Gerber out to Ray Mort. Ray Mort trying to batter his way through. Mallet is there. Back it comes to the Springboks again. Michael du Plessis trying a drop goal, but it's pulled to the left of the posts. Michael du Plessis saw the posts in front of him.
There we are. We see it again. Let's have a look at his position. I think he might have been better off passing to the outside there. But a couple of men ready to run. It's always a bad idea when you miss a drop.
22 drop out, tap back there, coming through. The very good run here by Palma, Jose Maria Palma, tackled in the halfway line. In goes Kula Ferreira for it again. Rogers trying to get it back for the Springboks. Miguens calling for it, and over the top it was. The Springboks going over the top, preventing the ball from coming out of that ruck, and a penalty to the Jaguars on the halfway line. Good run there by Jose Maria Palma, the left wing. And the kicker has indicated he's going to kick at the poles. And it's not going to be Porta, it's going to be Martin Sansot, the fullback. Score 4-3, Springboks leading by a try to a penalty. Try scored by Carl du Plessis to a penalty by Porta. And this kick is a difficult one because the wind, if anything, is against him. But it's moved to coming across the field to some extent. Martin Sansot asks the referee if he may replace the ball. The referee will look at his watch. He'll add on to the total playing time any amount of time over 40 seconds. And that is Thomas Pedersen, who's going to hold the ball in case it rolls over again. 18 minutes gone in the first half. On the halfway line, and it's going to be very short. Under it is Dani Gerber. Gerber from inside his quarter hasn't found touch. He's found Sansot. Sansot the up and under. Gary Owen coming in for it is Mallet. And Mallet took it, I think it went over his chest. There you have the score. Springbok try to a Jaguar penalty.
I think I'd call that one of Mallet's favourite situations. He does very well in those situations where the kicks are dropping in among the players and nobody knows who to go for it. He's very definite about it.
But he certainly came running in and took it pretty well. And I think there's a slight hold up there. You see the line-outs of Springboks 4 to the Jaguars 3. Pretty even. Jaguars are difficult to play against because they move around in the line-out. You never know where they're going to be standing. There's Ure, number 7 at the back. Milano next to him, number 5. Pardo, Thomas Pardo 5, Milano 4. And the back tap back by the Jaguars. Dengra, Serafin Dengra taking it there, but the referee not happy that it was straight. And so they'll scrum.
I was talking to Ronnie Foster this morning, one of the old Jaguars, one of the old Pumas. He was saying about Dengra, he says one of his qualities is that he can take an inside pass from a wing.
Yes, well, here we have Serfontein kicking into the gap and Sansot just managing to grab it. Well, we have had just over 20 minutes now in the first half, and the Springboks leading by a try by Karel du Plessis to a penalty by Porter. 4-3, Springboks leading, and anything can happen.
Steeds daar die een enkele punt verskil in Suid-Afrika se guns. Maar Otto, die Springbokke lyk goed vanmiddag, né?
Ja, mense sien 'n baie meer saamspel as wat ons verlede week gesien het en veral hulle agterlyn beweeg baie lekker vanmiddag.
Hier kom hy. Byna onderskep daar, maar bereik tog vir Karel du Plessis op die middenlyn. Goeie werk deur Anton Barnard. Rob Lou wat by is, na regs die aanval. Jonas wat by is. Michael du Plessis, Dani Gerber. Mellet op die regtervleuel. En dan gaan Moort. Minguez, die eerste man ook weer keer. En dat is nog steeds Dani Gerber en Rob Lou. 10 meter van die doellyn. Hierdie bal wil Suid-Afrika hê. Serfontein pleit vir hom en Serfontein kry hom. Tobias, Dani Gerber. Karel du Plessis as 'n center. Michael du Plessis wat insny. Aftrap op links. Dani Gerber wat verder neem. Daar's probleme aan daardie kant. Nog steeds gaan hierdie lang beweging voort en jy sien die doellyn daar agter wat roep. Kan Suid-Afrika die tweede loskram in die stelle beweging wen? Dankzij Rogers Bell. Serfontein aan de kant om. Michael du Plessis. En Rotterbaai van wil hier gaan. En sy hoor in die hoek. 'n 3 wel vir Suid-Afrika. 'n 3 deur Kulu Ferreira. Met de 3 aangevoer. En Pretoria het pas 'n 3 gedruk Ferreira. Die beweging begin wanneer Serfontein aan de kant omgaan. Rob Lou in sy voetspore. Tref daar vir Michael du Plessis. Tobias wat hom baie netjies raak vlak. Porta ontduik, probeer self oorgaan. Gee binne toe, klein aangie deur na Kulu Ferreira. En die man van die weermag druk hom in die hoek. Dani Gerber se moedigste skop so ver vanmiddag. Ons wil nie te vroeg praat nie, maar hier's probleme vir die Jaguars. Porta wat hard praat met sy manne. Hy is baie skuins, die voordeel van die wind. Agter daar die nommer 13 sal stoot. Dis die skerp hoek vir Gerber. Hy getref hierom.
Hierdie eerste 3 van Kulu Ferreira het begin met die tweede loskram en 'n beweging gewen deur die bokke uit na Michiel, na Tobias. Let op die 2 losvoerspelers van die Springbokke in ondersteuning daar. Aangee deur Tobias en 'n 3 deur Kulu.
Sonder 'n opponent by hom. Afskepskop van Porta. Weer werk deur Mallet. 5 meter berg in die kwartgebied. Suid-Afrika binne die losbal nou na Willeke. Aan die oorkant as Miguez aan kant. Wat gaan Suid-Afrika maak? Afstand wen met 'n lynskop of begin Hartebie vandag?
Ja, ek dink met die puntjie van agter is dit noodsaaklik dat Johan Jenus die bal so ver as moontlik probeer uitskop. Maar ja, dit kan met enige een gebeur.
Ons sien hy agter hom as hoor een stem van Otto Jekyll. En 'n oorke wat daar die halwe meter tussen die 2 rye wil hê en die 1 meter van die spinners af. Hy het 'n bietjie skeef gelyk, goed gevat deur Ernesto Ore.
Die ingooiers het dit baie moeilik vanmiddag met hierdie windjie wat uit die suidweste uitwaai. Veral as dit lang ingooie is, dan is dit moeilik om hom reguit te hou.
En nog so 15 minute het Suid-Afrika die wind in die guns. Ferreira wat reeds weggebreek het. Dis also 'n plan, behalwe dat die aangee terug nie moes laat val het nie. En natuurlik ook dat die Spansprekendes nie onkant moes speel nie.
Ja, die skeieregter sê hierso dat die Suid-Amerikaners die skrim laat sak het.
Jonas laat van plan verander. Is 'n beter skop. Het beter die kwartgebied. Spaansprekende lande vaar besonder goed in die lyn staan, hè. We sien dus nie skoonskap wat Suid-Afrika daar maak nie. Cash. Daar by Milano rond. Suid-Afrika beroof hom. Sarfontein, Tobias skepskop met die linkervoet. Teen 'n man vas. Palma pragtig in posisie. Dis minder goed, maar hy het sy eerste taak welkom doen. En dit is om oor te kom en te help verdedig.
Dit is die tweede, derde maal vanmiddag wat Palma al daar van die linkerkant af oorkom om te kom help hier op die regterkant. Die teken van 'n goeie vleuel.
Bal nog nie beskikbaar nie. Interessant, die skeieregter laat dit toe dat die man 'n beur voordat Javier Miguel gereed is om in te sit. Bietjie hoë bal deur na Porta. Sansot met die linkervoet. Sy 10de jaar van internasionale rugby, Martin Sansot van die klub Corridon in Buenos Aires. Jy sien Suid-Afrika se agtlyn oorgehaal vir die aanval. Die skeieregter wil kom kyk waar die Suid-Afrikaanse springers in aksie is. Dis Mellet se bal hierdie. Rob Lower en vaspunt. Klein kantjie om. Dan die Gerber wat hom op binne hou. Plaas geweldige druk met hierdie hoë skop op Sansot. Maar Porta is daar. Skoonvang van Porta.
Die ervaring van jarelange internasionale rugby, skoonvang onder druk is 'n baie goeie besluit om te doen in omstandighede soos daardie.
Interessant, is sy 40ste internasionale wedstryd vanmiddag. Hugo Porta. 179 die kode. En ons sal nou sien wat beteken dit wanneer Rodgers kan ingooi.
Come across.
Bruno Ferreira. Tweede van achteraf, dalk is het wel onbedoeld. Hier is daar voorlangs. Roy Moorman om prachtig bemeester. Dani Gerber. Hy vind daarna vir die man van die Parks Club. Baie goeie breekbeweging deur die Springbokke. Weggeneem deur hierdie skitterende loskop Serafin Dengra. Porta in die moeilikheid. 18 meter van sy doellyn, maar die vlek het reeds geblaas. Wil terugkom naar die vorige beweging. Baie goeie werk deur Anton Barnard van Port Elizabeth. Wat hierdie eerste 27 minute veel beter vaar. Beide in die scrums en in die gebroke spel as in Pretoria. Goed bemeester deur Mingweth. Slim naar die breekskop. Hy wonderlik in die hande gekry deur Diego Costa Silva. En prachtig, hier moet 'n 3 kom. 'n 3 naar rechts. Sansot het om deur na Campo. Maar Campo het nie die vaart om deur te gaan en Sansot gaan deur. Briljante 3. 'n 3 vir Martin Sansot. Nou is de Afrikaanse verdediging heeltemal oopgevlek daar. Het begin by hierdie perfecte skopie vorentoe deur Porta. Wonderlik opgevolg deur Costa Silva. Prachtig teruggegooi na Tournes. Verder geneem deur Sansot. Campo wordt vastgekeerd. Het hierdie vaart gehad nie, maar hy vind aan die buitekant vir Sansot. En net Raymond daar om te keer. 'n 3 wat Nieuweland groot waardeer. Voorkie tussen stramskakel en losskakel, terwyl die opponente losskakel. Belangrike doelskop poging van waarneem. Seil hy oor, is die Spaansprekendes voor. Maar jy sien waar die bal geplant word, feitlik op die kantlyn. Jy sien ook dat die wind lastig is.
Dit is in gevalle soos hierdie peer wat dit baie beter vir die spelers sal wees om 'n bietjie sand te gebruik. Maar is interessant, dit is net in Suid-Afrika waar dit toegelaat word dat hulle 'n hoopie kan bou.
Porta buite die speelveld. Daar is die Porta polka van hom. Nee, hy gaan nie genoeg saam inkrul nie. En Suid-Afrika bly net voor.
Die 3 begin met hierdie skoppie deur Porta in die kassie. Tournes wat vreesloos spring vir die bal. Om raakvat. En dan is daar 'n oop veld vir die Suid-Amerikaners. Maar let nou op hoe mooi versprei hulle die bal. Michiel Du Plessis wat kom dek. Raymond wat kom dek. Die bal word gegee na Campo. Let op hoe mooi hou hy die bal gereed om weer uit te gee. En in die hoek is Sansot oor.
Wel, hierdie wedstrijd is 'n halfuur aan die gang en ons het al 3 skitterende 3 gesien. In die vorige beweging het ons ook gesien dat die beste manier van 'n bal skop is om die bal te dra.
Pierre, maar 3 is mos waaroor rugby gaan.
Daarom kan hy 4. Sudafrika op die inval. Aanval, Porta se inskop, bietjie weg van sy voorspelers, Versaggie wat hom inwag. En vleis uit hom. Goeie werk van Ferreira ook. Beskikbaar vir Serfontein. Tobias wat die gat sien, vir Mallet vind. En vir Rob Lou naby om te help. Den Graaf wat klaar. Opgetel deur Moorman. Lou wat die rigting verander. Tobias hier aan die gat. Petersen agter sy rug. Dan die gat wat binne toe sny. En 2 man met hom kan vat. 5 meter van die doellyn. Kan Suid-Afrika die losbal wen. Serfontein wat aan die ander kant wil omgaan. Raymond en Moradon. Interessant, die skeieregter het daar die 3 nie gesien nie. Maar hy gee die twyfel aan die drukker. En Raymond druk in hierdie toetswedstryd van hom. Wat sy 18de is, sy 12de 3. Anderwoorde hy ewenaar ook die ou rekord van Gerry Germes is. Dat ons weer aan kyk. Suid-Afrika met 'n bal wen. Serfontein met hom deurskiet na Raymond en nou begin daar die vegtersinstink van hom. Stap vir San Sot uit die pad uit. Loop daar om. John Bird bly laag, duik oor die doellyn en nou eers in die skeieregter die 3 is gedruk en hy ken dit toe. Lyk binne soos 'n oorlogsveld. Een van daardie manne kan Dani Gerber wees, die ander een is beslis Petersen.
Die loskram begin daar. Bal word losgemaak, het word vir Raymond gegee en in omstandighede soos hierdie met sy sterk bou is dit baie moeilik om hom te keer. Het is interessant hoe die lynregters die stryd om dopgehou daar en ek glo dat die skeieregter ook gehelp is in beslissing om daai 3 te gee deur hom.
Ek wil 'n lansie breek vir jong Fabian Turnes wat omgekom het en met mag en mening probeer het om vir Raymond uit te staan. Dit lyk nie goed nie. Hierdie Springbok lank op die veld. Dat ons weer kyk na daardie 3. Ek dink dit is Dani Gerber. Ek wil nie te vroeg ontstel nie, maar kom ons kyk weer na daardie 3. Serfontein wat klein kantjie omgaan. Mort wat begin beklei vir daardie 3. Ombe en laag hou en hy druk hom net voor Gustavo Milano. Ja, dit is Dani Gerber. Hy is die man wat ek dink ons het dit ook gesê deur 2-3 man bespring is feitelik met sy krag loop hy na die doellyn toe. Hy is hoog gevat. Hy is so 'n bietjie swakkerig in die knieë en Dr. Oggie Cohen gaan hom verder behandel buite die speelveld. En nou is Suid-Afrika natuurlik sonder 'n skopper. Dat ons kyk hoe die besering plaasgevind het. Jy sien vir Gerber wat aftrap met die regtervoet en hom nou in hierdie kruisverdediging in hardloop. En Porta wat hom baie hoog vat. Trouwens, die skeieregter kan dit onder reël 26 vertolk as ontoelaatbaar en hy kon daar 'n strafskop toegeken het, maar hy het die voordeel laat loop en dit het geëindig in 'n 3 vir Suid-Afrika. Ek vrees dit lyk nie goed nie. Dit is hoog langs. Kan moontlik die borsbeen wees. En die kom die skop van Tobias. Baie goeie skop van die kantlyn af wat net regs verbygaan. Dit loop Suid-Afrika in hierdie lang uitgerekte 1984 seisoen en hierdie stadium reeds 112 toetspunte. En dit in 3,5 toetse. Bietjie diep. Die Springbokke streel laat los. Moorman laat dit oor sy skouer vlieg en 'n loskop ingooi vir Serfontein op die afskopkolletjie.
Buite beeld probeer Dr. Oggie Cohen lyk my vir Dani Gerber oortuig dat hy nie verder kan speel nie, maar Dani sê nee, hier kom hy.
Kluis vir Gerber wat nou agter sal verbydraf. Opvallend Otto dat die skeieregter op Suid-Afrika se ingooi daar aan die kant waar Atti Strauss en Serafin Dengraat in mekaar beur gaan stelling neem. Uit die sentraal weerskante, uit Tobias wat die hoekvlag wil opsoek en dit lyk na baie goeie skop, want Martin Sansot is uit posisie. 'n briljante skop van die Springbok losmaker. Gerber het die bal opgevolg. Ek dink nog nie 100% wel nie. Maar kyk waar het Tobias die bal uitgeskop. En 'n rukkie terug het ons gesê die beste manier van 'n bal skop as die bal dra. Dis gevaarlik op sy doellyn. Wat gaan dit word? Groot probleme wanneer Campo na sy doelin is, met die linkervoet kom skop, die bal kom uithak. Is 'n baie goeie golfspeler ook, speel van 'n 7 voorgee. Maar daar die buffel het hy so 'n bietjie gehak met die linker.
In omstandighede waar die wind nie so sterk is nie, is dit 'n baie goeie plan om vinnig die bal weg te kry kort op die doellyn. Maar waar die wind so sterk waai, is dit 'n gevaarlike ding om te doen.
Suid-Amerikaanse onvoorspelbaarheid. Agter, gedeflecteerd deur Milano. Baie briljante skop weer eens deur Porta. Die hoek was skerp, die opponente was daar. Nu het die bal skoon gekry van hierdie jong kerel, Javier Miguez. En dis Porta waar die Springbokke terugjaag. En hierdie skare nie baie nie, ek sou sê so 30.000 mense sien 'n uitstekende toets.
Kom ons kyk na die ingooi van Chris Rogers. Dit wil al vir my lyk asof hy 'n bietjie moeilikheid het om sy slotte te vind.
Baie goeie werk deur Rob Lou op die grond. Tobias. Hy verder voor de ver met die binne toe breek en Porta wat oorskep. Daar's die agste man, Benaventura Minguez. Weg is Diego Cuesta Silva, maar hy moet terugkom. 4 minute voor rustyd.
Ek sou baie graag wil sien dat meneer Oorkay dalk 'n bietjie tussen die pakke voorspelers gaan staan, want ons kry almekaar hier die gestootery en 'n gerukkery aan mekaar voordat die skram werklik waar gevorm is.
En die reël sê tog baie duidelik dat nie voordat daar die bal beskikbaar is. Met ander woorde, voordat die skrimskakels eintlik in posisie is, mag die manne kontak maak. Die skrimskakels gepraat, dis Javier Miguez wat probleme het. Vriendelike jong kerel die. Student in Buenos Aires. Sy debuut gemaakt in die Franse in 1982.
Peer buite beeld weer eens. Ek is jammer dat ek dit buite beeld noem, maar die Suid-Amerikaners is reg om te skram die heeltyd wat daai besering gehanteer is.
Snaaks is 'n ding wat hulle nie baie geoefen het in hul voorbereiding nie, skrams nie. Verloor hulle hierdie een, Tobias. Dani Gerber, die gaan op die see. Terug na Gerber. In die middelveld, loop hem vast deur Rob Lou. Loop baie wyd. As hard op geleentheid vir hom, vind vir Raymond. En dit gaan keer kos. 18 meter van die doellyn. En Pettersen onder geweldig druk daar. Geen voordeel te trek daaruit nie. Vaste stram.
Peer, het sal interessant wees om te weet wat Dani Gerbers markeer, want hy het hier lekker gehardloop. Dit laat 'n mens dink aan 'n ryk van skoor van oud wat met haar skittende wedstryd gespeel het.
Ryk van skoor, de skittende 3 gedruk. Daar kom het Dani ook nog oor. Hierdie bal is nie uit nie. Wat gaan Jonas met hom maak? Thomas Pettersen by hom. Min Springbok om te kom help. 10 meter buite in die kwartgebied van die Spaansprekendes. Minuut en 'n half voor rustyd. Plus natuurlik die besering van Gerber. 5 punte verskil in die guns van Suid-Afrika. 12-7. Die Springbokke 3 pragtige drie deur Du Plessis, Karel, Paulo Ferreira en Raymond. En as antwoord 'n Porta strafdoel en 'n 3 van Sansot. Nog 'n ramp as Ernesto Ore die veldpunt verlaat. Kyk na 'n beenbesering van hom. Sy spandokter Dr. Luis Garcia Yanez is daar by hom. Jy sien, dis nou waarvan Otto gepraat het. Daar's 'n besering, maar reeds is die vaste voorspelers en ook die agste man in posisie om te stoot. Porta wat tevrede is dat die besering aan Ernesto Ore nie ernstig is nie. Weer eens het Tobias 'n senter aan weerskante vir die vaskop ingooi vir die Springbokke.
Dit is interessant, Tobias neem 'n ander posisie in as gewoonlik, nie reg agter die skrim nie, maar 'n bietjie meer na die kant.
Laag gehou deur Porta, veld gewend deur Porta, tensy Raymond hom kan binnehou. Binnekant sy kwart. Jonas. Bietjie gewoer. 25 goeie meter gewen. Hier is Springbok hier agter. Onder die vlaggie van Steve Strydom. Diego Cash. Min tyd oor trouwens op die veldhorlosie. Die elektronische speeltyd reeds voorbij. Hy het skief getol. Hy het die manier om die bal te laat tol, te laat draai. Verder wind af. Maar schijnbaar het die Spaanssprekendes oor die lijn gespring. Ook moontlik al skuldig gemaakt aan stampspringerij. En hierdie strafskop vir Jonas. Daar die Gerber wat paarde te skop. En dit is die langste skop van die middag. In besteringstyd. En is half ironisch dat die besteringstyd is juist deur Dani Gerber op die horlosie geplaas. Kan hy ook 3 punte op die bord plaas. Springbok van Dispatch. Tref hem goed, miskien 'n bietjie onder hom deur geskop. Kort in die hande van Sansot. Hy voorveld in. Hoor Moelman se kop. En voor Kulu Ferreira se neus gaan die bal uit. 'n bal wat nooit moes uitgegaan het nie.
'n belangrike reël in so 'n situasie is dat daar genomineer moet word wie vir die bal gaan. En in hierdie geval 2 spelers vir mekaar gestaan en wag en het die Spaanssprekende lande ver veld gewen.
8 meter binne in die halfgebied van die Springbokke. Orthodox lyn staan, goed bemeester voor deur Moelman. Tobias by die kant sy kwart met die linker. Hy gaan veld wen. Bring vir Palmani prentjie vir Sansot. En Pieter skop hierdie keer van hom. Reeds 2 minute besteringstyd. 7-3 die kode. En nou is ons netjies gaan sien hoe reguit gooi Rodgers die bal aan. Dis bedoel vir Versaghi. Scheidsregter weer eens nie tevrede Otto met die wyse waarop deur die Springbok gespring word nie.
Ek dink hy daar beduie Peer dat Clive Versaghi opgetel is.
Wel weer die krag om hom op te tel, maar hy is 120 kg zwaar. En is Martin Sansot wat paarde toe gaan skop. Die man wat die 3 gedruk het. As 'n lange bereken vir al die wind by. Soos dit is grondlangs is dit 52 meter. Geen nog so 'n windkrag van 5 meter by, so dis 'n enorme skop van hom. Maar 'n belangrike een, want die Spaanssprekende sal graag 12-10 of 10-12 wil omdraai. Wat terloops ook die rustydtelling was 'n week terug natuurlik in Pretoria, maar omgekeerd. Die Jaguars was 12-10 voor. Vinnige aanloop van hom, dis 'n goeie treffer, 'n baie goeie skop van hom. Net nie deur nie. Jonas. Pragtige skop van Jonas en die bal gaan uit na die middellyn vir 'n lyn staan wat ons nie gaan sien nie, want na 3 minute beseringstyd is dit rustyd. Suid-Afrika 12-7 voor, 3 van Du Plessis, Ferreira en Mort 12-7 en tot 'n rukkie later vinnig terug na die ateljee in Johannesburg.
And you come to us an ideal time because we're just about to have the kick-off for the second half. And it's going to be the Jaguars to kick off. I think it's going to be Martin Sansot. There he is on the right. And away they go. And it's a long kick. Errol Tobias waiting for it. 5 meters from his try line. And he makes certain that he gets his touch there. So important it is not to miss touch. There he is, Errol Tobias. Had a hand in that try by Kulu Ferreira earlier on. And Diego Cash to throw in. Back of the line out taken by Rudy Versaghi. Interesting, he was at number 7 in the line out there. So Springboks are moving around. Rob Lowe getting it back. Serfontein, Tobias. Chased by Serafin Dengra and John Bird. And sorry about these shadows, it's very difficult. There's a big contrast in the light and shade here. Sunny day. They're in the shadow of the grandstand. And once again, Cash to throw in. Where will he throw it? He's got Minguez in the front and John Bird. Good work by Ure. And driving forward, good possession by the Jaguars, but Chris Rogers alert on the side. Referee on the other side, and the referee decides there's a penalty to the Jaguars. Springboks preventing the ball coming out. Last man up is Chris Rogers. And Hugo Porta to take this penalty. Well, the score is 12 points to 7, and if Porta, with the wind at his back, can make it 12-10, it'll certainly give a psychological uplift to these Jaguars. He'll expect to get this, and ball falling over, he asks the referee if he may replace it, and Mr. Urke says right. About 14 meters in from the grandstand touchline, and midway between the Springbok 22 and the halfway line. Big crowd, quiet. There he goes, and he's hit it pretty well, and it's there. 12 points to 10, and Hugo Porta's second penalty. Only 2 points between the sides, and 2 minutes gone in the second half. 12-10, so anything can happen. 2 penalties and a try to 3 tries by the Springboks, and the crowd looking a bit worried. What'll Ero Tobias do now? There's a lovely hanging kick. Has it gone too far? I think it has, yes. What'll they do? They can have a kick again, they can have a line out on the halfway line, or they can have a scrum, and the Jaguars opt for a scrum.
Yes, that's a vital error. I noticed, though, that from that same position, kicking off that way, Porter did exactly the same thing. There might be a little bit of a crosswind that they're misjudging.
So it is Miguens, Javier Miguens, and the referee, what does he say? This is the free kick, not in straight. Now they can't go directly for the posts. What will Van Serfontein do? Will he do a quick one to Kunis? Kunis standing next to him, but it goes out to Michael du Plessis. Tobias, a little dummy out there. Du Plessis, and a bullocking run by Rob Lowe there, down the far side, and the Springboks have gained quite a lot of ground from that movement. But the last transfer must have been forward, so down they'll scrum, and the Jaguars ball. Miguens. Has Cash got it? Cash has hooked it. Back to Porta. Chased by Serfontein. And a lovely kick by Hugo Porta from inside his 22. Takes play up to beyond the 10-meter line of the Springboks. 12 meters inside the Springbok half.
You can see immediately, Chick, that there's quite an advantage with this wind. Porta never kicked anything that far in the first half.
And I think Porta will use his experience to make use of the wind, Dave. Thomas Pedersen going away from the line out. Tapped back by the Springboks, but through come the Jaguars. Mallet with it now. Inside there to Rudy Visagie. Visagie to Rob Lowe. Look at that speed, acceleration, and his pass knocked away by the wing Campo. Rob Lowe tried to get it inside to a colleague. And
very good play there by Mallet and Moorman, both giving first-time passes to set Rob Lowe up on that run. So often they bullock their way and finish up on the ground in those situations.
So Serfontein picked up by Mallet. Mallet on the open side. He's Serfontein with him, trying to get it free. Now Serfontein wants it. He got it. Back to Tobias. A good kick into the box there. And good work by the scrum of Miguens. And a good kick by Miguens. Once again, using that wind. Here he is, Javier Miguens. His brother plays fullback.
Certainly one of the stars in the Jaguars side. He's done a tremendous amount of work today.
There are the line-out. The Springboks with that advantage, 9-5. And they've been getting good ball. Where will it go? Deep one. And Mallet, good one by him. Kula Ferreira picking up support of Visagie. Du Plessis, Mallet out to Raymond. Not a very good pass. Picked up by Serfontein. Not much else Serfontein can do there. And a good kick puts the Springboks back onto the attack. So the Springboks getting possession. That's 10 to the Springboks and 5 to the Jaguars in the line-out. There's Louis Moorman. Behind him, Matti Strauss, number 3. But it is the Jaguars ball, Diego Cash, and taken there by their big lock forward, Gustavo Milano. Miguens kicking over his forwards' heads. And Raymond hoping it will stay inside, but the ball going out. A good kick by Miguens. It's a halfway line. Serafin Dengra, number 1, having a fine game. Very powerful front row forward. Next to him, Anton Barnard, number 1 for the Springboks. Louis Moorman behind him. Rudy Versace, a beautiful two-handed catch. Serfontein, Tobias, Gerber, Duplessis, Karel Duplessis, and in comes Hiernes. Hiernes well tackled by Ure. Good ruck on the 10-meter line of the Springboks. They want it, and Serfontein's going to get it. He's got it. And a good rolling kick, attacking kick, being chased here by Gerber. Gerber and Palmer. Gerber's going to get there first, I think, but a good fall by Palmer. Palmer saving the situation. Donnie Gerber dashing through, looking for his 14th try in tests. He's already got the Springbok record. But a good attack, defensive fall there by Jose Maria Palmer. Nevertheless, that kick's put the Springboks onto the attack.
Coming down the right-hand side of the field, the Springboks are tending to kick, I think, a little bit too much. They're not giving Mort any chance to really run.
Louis Moorman with it. Kulu Ferreira around the front. They scored a try last time through that movement. But the Jaguars wide awake in defense there. And the referee says, knocked forward. Jaguars ball. Referee wants them to get straight and a little further in the field of play. Scrum collapsing, and the referee wants them to get down straight in scrum square. Javier Miguens. Referee running to the other side, watching for collapsing. And ball controlled by the Jaguars. Miguens tackle there. Mallett trying to get it back for the Springboks. And the referee says that was preventing the ball coming out of that ruck. Penalty to the Springboks. And this is a kickable position. 12-10 the score. And the Springboks will want to make it 15-10. There's Serfontein. Going to give it to Tobias this time. Errol Tobias going for the posts. 5 meters in from touch.
A little bit of indecision there. I don't think either Gerber or Tobias was too keen to have this kick. It's a very difficult position. It's not often you see this at this level of rugby, that there isn't a very definite kicker in a side.
Difficult not only because it's a difficult angle, Dave, but the wind is going right across. It'll have to be a very accurate kick. You'll have to aim at the right-hand post or even just outside it and let the ball come in. And it's also for the right-handed kicker, any swing of the boot will take it from right to left. And one of the Jaguars, Benaventura Miguens, needs a new pair of pants. And the play being held up, well, Miguens goes for another pair of pants. But Errol Tobias placing the ball now. Players in the defending side must stand absolutely still with their hands by their sides. If they have them in the air or they move, it can be, a penalty can be given a second time. Difficult kick for Tobias, and a vital one. Whole crowd holding thumbs for him, and it's a beautiful kick. It's a lovely kick, and it's all the way. Well, what a great kick, and there's the score, 15 points to 10. The Springboks leading by a penalty and 3 tries, the 2 penalties and a try by the Jaguars.
Well, you picked that line perfectly, Chick. You had it from outside right hand upright, and it moved right across to just inside left hand upright. A beautiful kick. Okay, let's have another look at it. There he is, Tobias. See Ames. Watch it inside the right hand upright as he looks at it. It moves across to just inside the left. Really a beautifully judged kick.
And a very important one, giving the Springboks a 5-point lead. And from the kickoff, the ball going over the dead ball line. So it'll be a 22-meter dropout with the Springboks to take it. Donnie Gerber went to fetch it. And Errol Tobias, who must really have his tail up now, to drop out. That's a long one. Right back there, who's got it? It's Campo, Marcelo Campo on the halfway line, up and under. Under it is Karel Duplessis. Will he mark? Yes, he has, and he's been given his fair catch. A little bit of petulance there as Campo went into him afterwards, and I think this fair catch will be turned into a penalty. He could have done, but it doesn't make any difference in a defensive position. Carl Duplessis with his free kick, a good mark that under pressure. And he'll want to find touch, and he does. This big crowd, very appreciative of anything good. Here's Carl Duplessis. His younger brother played in the curtain raiser and looked a pretty useful performer there.
Yes, he got a pretty good try.
Short line out here. And there is Milano, number 4 at the back, and breaking away Kulu Ferreira. But the referee said they were the wrong number of players, so a free kick to the Jaguars. And Porta, I think Porta is going for the posts, or he says that they'll go for the post, and he's changed his mind. Or he obviously never said they were going for the post. It's a free kick. A quick one to Porta, drop goal attempt, and he decides not to. Out to Tornej, to Cuesta Silva. Silva up and under. Under it is Carlo Duplessis again. And will he mark? No, he dropped it this time. Mark can't be given if he dropped the ball. Mallet is there to the rescue. Mallet barging his way through. Holding it, the Springbok phalanx is there. And back goes Kiernes from Duplessis, Michael Duplessis. And under a lot of pressure. Good kick by Johan Kiernes.
Outstanding save by Mallet there. Carl Duplessis had dropped that ball.
One wonders if Johan Kiernes is favouring that leg with the groin muscle injury. But certainly a good kick. And whose ball it is? It's the Jaguars' ball. Thomas Patterson tapping it back there, going through Rudi Versace. But it is Dengra getting it for the Jaguars. The referee said there was a knock forward, and they must scrum. 13 minutes gone in the second half. Springboks leading 15 points to 10. Tries by Carl Duplessis, Kulu Ferreira and Ray Mort, and a penalty by Tobias. And for the Jaguars, 2 penalties by Porta and a try by Martin Sansot. Slight hold up for injury.
I think the Springbok backline will have to think about the kicking that takes place to the right-hand touchline. I think they want to try and move the ball out to Mort. He's such a dangerous runner. But from Serpentine through the backline, they all like their kicks going down the right-hand side of the field.
And a penalty there, could that be for wasting time, Dave, perhaps?
Could well have been.
One we can't be certain of, and penalty taken by Kiernes. He hasn't found touch, and he's found Porta. Look at that side, so the ball is caught. That shows what a great guy he is when there's a cheer when Porta is caught in possession. And that's the scrum half. Migens kicking, hasn't found touch. He's found Mallet and the 2 of them nearly colliding, and that is a late tackle on the kicker, who was Migens. Very definite decision by the French referee, Monsieur Urquet. That is Gustavo Milano with him there. We were watching the ball, and the referee watching the man who kicked the ball and the late tackle. So here's an opportunity for Hugo Porta. There is the 22-meter line. So it's 15 meters in from touch and just behind the 22-meter line. There are the Springboks looking a little disconsolate, because Porta can make it 15 points to 13 if he's accurate. And he's accurate this time. A lovely kick there by Hugo Porta, and it's 15 points to 13 and only 2 points in it.
Porta looking very confident with the boot today. There's the goal kick. Right inside the inside upright.
So 3 penalties by Porta and a try by Sansot for their 13 points. And there's the kick-off again. Under it is Gustavo Milano, helped by Ure and Thomas Pedersen. In goes John Bird as well. And Migens back to Porta. Under a lot of pressure there from Rogers and Ferreira. And he doesn't get his touch. Carlo Duplessis with it. Carlo Duplessis decides to run, then changes his mind. Porta waiting for it. Sansot bounced his way. And he hasn't found touch. He's found Van Serfontein. And he's got Kiernes inside him. Serfontein decides to kick for touch. And it doesn't find. He finds Migens. Gives it to Porta. And will he find touch at last? Yes, Hugo Porta has found his touch just beyond the halfway line.
Yeah, we see that Miggins with the kick. This was a moment ago when the penalty was awarded against South Africa. Let's have a look at it. Yes, very definitely. He was obstructed after he kicked there. Carl Du Plessis a little late with the tackle.
And that is Rudy Visagie. Serfontein Tobias. Kick into the box, chased by Michael Du Plessis. Tourneges there, though. Picked up by Mallet. Mallet out to Ray Mort. Cover defense going for Mort. And a good tackle indeed there. Good tackle by Palmer, and in they go. The referee has decided that ball is very dead underneath a mass of bodies. And the scrum just in front of the Jaguars' 22-meter line, and I think they're going to be held up. That was a very courageous tackle by Jose Maria Palmer on Ray Mort, and he's having a bit of attention. But Ray Mort going like a steam train, and in came Palmer, and he certainly took quite a knock there. But the tackling of the Jaguars, really outstanding. They haven't missed a tackle that one's noticed.
Springboks have got to keep their cool now. They're in a tight situation. They're 15-13 ahead. The Jaguars are back in the game, tackling very well indeed. But this is where you stick to your method. And I hope the Springboks don't get all tight and keep it close. They must keep moving the ball as they did in the first half.
Jaguars have it. This Miggins to Porter. Porter using the wind again to try and get his forwards on the attack. There he is. Architect from Buenos Aires. That's the halfway line. That is number 8, Benaventura Minguez. But Louis Moorman got it. He's robbed by Ure. Back it comes. Going for it was Pardo, Thomas Pardo, Peterson in the thick of it, and John Bird. Going in last is Minguez, and the referee says they want a scrum. Ball will not emerge. John Bird, number 3, Chris Rogers, number 2 for the Springboks. Dengra, number 1. Scrum almost on the halfway line, and Springbok ball. This is on the Springbok right. And they're lining fairly deep. Obviously, they want a quick heel. Strauss scrumming inwards towards the hooker. The Springboks have it. Mallet controlling it. To Serfontein, trying to break on his own. Getting into the open. He has Mort with him. And Mort just very well tackled there by Palmer. Went for his ankles and just pushed those feet out over the touchline. And certainly Jose Maria Palmer is having a courageous game on defense. Hasn't let the might of Ray Mort worry him at all. Referee wanting that half meter between the two lines as Diego Cash prepares to throw in. And a lot of obstruction in the line out there. Referee giving a penalty. Penalty, Porter coming up for it. And Porter hoisting it high. Touch judge Mr. Stradham going into the field of play to see where it went out. That's the Springbok 10-meter line on the right. Springboks are quite an advantage in the line. Now taken by Ferreira. Back to Tobias, standing. Gerber out to Michael Du Plessis into the box. Porter is there. What will he do? Kicking for advantage. Hyunis. And Hyunis just steadied himself nicely there, and a very good kick from a narrow angle by Johan Hyunis. So here's the short line out, and just to the right is the halfway line, and who's going to take this? Mallet trying to go for it. Back it comes to Porter, standing to Pedersen. Thomas Pedersen over the halfway line, tackled by Tobias. Still with it is Porter. Dengra, number 1, getting it. And Argentina going in with the Springboks. Rob them, and Defan Serfontein. A longish kick being chased by Sansot. Sansot will get it. Ray Mort following up. Sansot doesn't find his touch in the middle of the field, and taken by Visagie to Rob Lowe. This could be a very dangerous movement. Michael Du Plessis, Cardle out there to Tobias. On the left to Gerber. Will Gerber going for a try? Good tackle. He's still on his feet. Gerber going for it. Gerber scored. Dani Gerber scored over there in the corner. And that he's broken his own record. He's now scored 14 tries in test matches. And he certainly managed to stay on his feet and determinedly went for the line over in the far side. 14 tries in 15 tests. Dani Gerber, and the score, Springboks leading by 19-13.
Sansat there, very well taken by Visagie, really Visagie, and out to Rob Lowe. And Rob Lowe got the ball going. I was a little afraid that Tobias might have touched that one. He did touch it, but I don't think it went forward. But Gerber does a great job breaking that tackle and getting across in the corner.
And that came after 22 minutes in the first half. Dani Gerber must be delighted. And a very difficult kick for Errol Tobias. Could hardly be closer to the touchline. It's the side he'll prefer to kick from, with the posts away to his right. He's taken it well behind the 22-meter line. Oh, he hasn't got the distance, and so the score is 19 points to 13. 4 tries and a penalty. Unusual 4 tries, none of them converted, to 3 penalties and a try.
Right, there we have it from behind the poles. You've seen there Visagie takes the catch, number 5. Out to Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe straightens beautifully. Michael du Plessis, Carl du Plessis, and there you see Tobias. Possibly that pass wasn't for him, but anyway, fortunately it lands in Gerber's hands. He breaks the tackle and manages to stay in the line. A very, very good try indeed.
And the kickoff over the dead ball line, so it'll be a 22-meter dropout for the Springboks. Well, that is the score. 19 points to the Springboks, 13 to the Jaguars.
En hierdie verrassingsskop van Tobias kan moeilijk voor Suid-Afrika punten teen ons op die kelbord kry. Dit was nou minder intelligent geweest. Hy het 'n verrassingskopie probeer waag in die rigting van Raymond. Hy het nie rekening gehou met Palma wat blitsnel opgevolg het. En kyk waar is Suid-Afrika diep in die moeilikheid, 'n meter van die hoekvlag.
Ja, en Pierre, is maar 6 punte in hierdie wedstryd, so as die Suid-Amerikaners hier moet punte aanteken, is daar moeilikheid.
En klappery is gevaarlik.
Dis die tweede keer vanmiddag dat Errol Tobias so 'n verrassingskop neem waarvan sy spanmaats ook nie bewus was nie.
Dink raad die kerel met die sweetband wat byna oor is, nommer 1, en hy's in baie ander opsigte ook nommer 1. Sarfontein wat hard praat. 'n 2-hand sprong is die ding wat hier se moet tel, 'n harde vletjie van die skeieregter. Stampspringery.
Interessante stampspring gee, moet eintlik 'n strafskop gee, Peer.
Waardevolle afstand gewen deur Yunus. Portlijn staan, derde een van de wedstrijd. Met Benaventura Mingwethio voor de 8e man. 4 man aan weerskanten. Milano is daar, Thomas Petersen is daar en achter Ernesto Ore. Maar Visagie is die man waar die bal bemeester. Daar drijft 120 kilogram. Als Zuid-Afrika verloor die bal. Maar dat wordt hem verder nemen. Vet ik op die Merlijn. Goeie stoot en een steun van Visagie. Kom ik bij. Zoals om een koningin bij wordt daar gebeur en beschermd. Pluk aan die bal. En Rob Lowe wat zo feestie wijst in die richting van Thomas Petersen. Serfontein die Springbokke net 6 punten voor. Raymond wordt die Merlijn. Raymond steeds aan die gang. En die is problemen voor die Zuid-Amerikaners. En die hulp die anders van spreken dan aan. Hierdie bal is niet uit nie. Maar het wordt hem inwacht. Maar het drijven. Maar het vindt voor Rogers bij hom. De bal is beschikbaar. Tobias, Yunus, Michael op de Sea. Lange deur naar waar Karel op de Sea die bal krijgt. Nou gekeerd was. Martin Sanchot. Binnen waar er niemand eindelijk is, die behalve Gerber wat ingekomen, laat ingekomen en steeds aan beheer is.
Uitstekende voorgevoel deur Michiel du Plessis daar die lang aangee te gee.
En die skeieregter wat voordeel laat loop het.
Ja, hier was weer het van die Suid-Amerikaners oor die bal geval en hy het pragtig voordeel laat loop hier.
Nou oordeel meneer Oorke dat die Springbokke waarschijnlijk verdere voordeel zal trekken uit de skop als we nog hadden met die beweging. Hij geeft zelfs een keuze. Een vaste scrum, een lijn waar die bal gevallen het. Devan Sarfontein verkiest het. En Zuid-Afrika het ideale platform om aan te vallen, feitelijk op de kwartlijn van de Jaguars. Springbok achterlijn staan bijzonder diep. Scheidsrechter wat hier Strauss zijn hand gewoon wegplukt. En Miguens wat aan elkaar slaan daar. Schoon gaat hier die Springbokken. Paulo Ferreira, Sarfontein, Raymond. Ja, hij heeft daarom eindelijk een meterse speelruimte nodig. Niet net een 3/4 meter niet.
Ek is seker daarvan, Raymond is baie gelukkig vanmiddag, want hy het al talle balle gekry om mee te hardloop.
Hij is die man wat Zuid-Afrika zijn derde 3 gedrukt heeft. Diego Cash. Fop ingooi, Milano wat hem wel heeft. Gemaakt of hem diep achtergooien. En Minguez wat weg voor hem. En kijk hoe vurig is die twee hakkers aan elkaar. Terwijl Minguez die bal krijgt, reken die vlek het geblazen. En dan toch zijn schop aankrijgen, die vlek het niet geblazen. Niet. Goeie schop van Javier Miguens. 12 minuten speelt dit door. Zuid-Afrika van al goede werk. Door Moorman en zoals verwacht van Savi. Daar staat Moorman op 2 en daar had Moorman een prachtige bal in die lucht geplukt. Sarfontein, erbij, Scherper die binnencenter. Nou, die prikskoppie werd niet trouwens. Hij vindt van Sansot dat dit kan problemen opleveren. Raymond wat schitterend omgekomen van die rechtervleugel. Dit is toch het ding wat jong vleugels kan leren bij Moord. En die Janne Engelbrecht patroon kom hij om en kan helpen op die linkervleugel als dat probleem is.
Weer een ligterlijm voor die afskop het Doc Craven vir Raymond gesê as hy nie die bal kry nie moet hy maar sommer daar so op die binnensenters bietjie skel en hard praat en lyk my dis nie nodig vanmiddag nie.
Kars wat hem gaan ingooi, het vir Ore diep achter op 7 en is Ore wat deflecteer. En is Dengra wat drywe, skitterende speler. Miguens, klein kantje om. Van verbinding met Minguez. Thomas Petersen, skepskoppoging. En minder geslaagd door Porta. Die bal is nog niet dood nie. Zwak opgevolgd door die Zuid-Amerikaners. Nu eerst komt Palma letterlijk in die prentje. Maar de tijd stapt aan. 10 minuten oor, 6 punten verschil in die gunst van Zuid-Afrika. Tobias, diepe en oppollen. Sansot wat weer terugkomt. Dat is zijn kwartlijn. Hij makkelijk om gaat op de zee. Diep schop, misschien te diep. Schop er een schop van hem. Martin Sansot. Studenten van Jaartsenijkunde. Prachtige schop van 45 meter. En Zuid-Afrika onder druk op die rechterhoekvlag. Interessant die fout. Thomas Pardo, die man van Valencia, die brandweerman, valt voorin. En Malkoff is springen, Moorman het ander plannen. Maar het uit als een loskakel. Schitterende werk is Sarfontein. Zeven, 3-3, die lijn staan voor hem. John Bird links, die man met die Ierse opa van Uruguay. Zag je wat hem deflecteer. Daar is een geweldige druk van een interessante slot Pardo wat eerst erbij was.
In teenstelling met Suid-Afrikaanse scheidsregters staan meneer Oorke wanneer daar lyn staan is baie keer voor in die lyn staan. Ek weet nie of hy van mening is dat hy dalk meer kan raak sien daar nie.
Nou gaan hy agtertoe, vollengte lyn staan, gedeflecteerd door Milano. Springbokkers neem met succes die skakels van elkaar af, behalve nou. En weet die kracht en invloed om onder daar die ballen te komen. Dus hier is het taak. Skoonvang van die Hunnes. Dit verdient applaus.
Ja, dis natuurlijk de eerste taak van een heel achter om daar die bal uit die lucht uit te kan vat soos wat Jennis het daar gedoen het.
En dat is niet Hunnes wat skopt nie, 'n volbeweging en is Michael de Plessis wat inkom als een skopper. En ver veld af uitstuur. Jonas wat hom net getikskop. Raak gevat deur Michael Lopez. En dan bly 8 minute spel oor. Cash wat nie vir ore vind nie. Roman wat opklaar. Ferreira wat die goeie werk op die grond doen. En Rob Lowe wat het oplig daar. Sarfontein. Miguens, die kapokhaantjie ook by. Feitlik op die middenlyn. Die verdedige Marvin. Thomas Petersen. Interessant hoe Versaghi ook daar oor is. Hy moet oppas dat hy nie oor die bal val nie. En dis presies wat gebeur op die middenlyn. Ek dink nie dit was vir onkantspel deur Sarfontein. Die bal was reeds uit gewees. Maar vir Versaghi wat oor die bal val, die bal is eintlik smoor. Terwyl Rob Lowe aandag het, word 'n strafschop dan toegeken aan die Jaguars. Dr. Kruiven, ek redelijk bekommerd, het hoë gaste uit Spaansprekende lande, al die presidente, ook uit Amerika is hier. Dr. Morgan van Engeland is hier. Die vice-president. Er is 'n Frits Elof naast aan hom. Tijd stap aan, terwijl Rob Lowe vanmiddag in sy 19e toets aandag nodig het. Lijkt of het hier by die rechter ribbes kan wees, die kort is. En Martin Sansot, wat so uitstekend geskop het, net voor ons tyd. Hy is die kerel, dat is 'n lange. Skies toch Porta. Tom Lago, Eunice wat hem inwag. Goeie skop van Eunice. Prachtige lijnskop. Die vlag hier van meneer Freekburger gaan uitkom. En dan is so 5 meter berg in die halfgebied van Sudafrika.
Ook 'n les vir jong jeugdigters. Die wind waai uit die suidweste uit en Eunice soek elke slag die kantlyn uit waantoe die wind waai.
Cash se ingooi. Milano se defleksie. Agter die armdeur van Mingues na Porta. Hierdie keer die Spaansprekers oortree.
Dit moes 'n stampery of 'n rukkery in die lyn staan gewees het, Peer.
Gaan Suid-Afrika hardloop. Nee, Eunice wil afstand wen. En hy wen 25 meter. Johan Eunice vanmiddag in sy 8ste toets. Daar is wat sy centers 'n bietjie verder terug wil hê. Michael Plessis die binnesenter gedeflecteer deur Milano. Dat is interessant, hulle hardloop. Tournes, Costa Silva, Sansot wat die raak vat hier. En dit kan probleme oplewer as Gerber optel. Deur die hande van Versaghi, Rob Lowe wat by is, maar vir die aanslaan. En ook die vorentoe aangee, Suid-Afrika die voordeel nie kan benut nie, vaste strom.
Igo Porta, dink ek, het nou besluit dat al maniere hoe hulle nog hierdie wedstryd kan wen is deur die bal die werk te laat doen. En hy het dan ook verkies om hier te begin hardloop baie naby aan sy doellyn.
Goeie stoot van die Springbokke, maar onwettig. En Suid-Afrika word gestraf. Dan Westeraar skief ingegooi is.
Ek dink die skeieregter is van mening Peer laat die skrim laat sak is.
Ja, dit is waarskynlik wat gebeur het. En Porta wat al terugbring na die middenlyn. Bly nog 5 minute oor. Anton Barnard nommer 1. Bolman agter hom, Atti Strauss. Aan die besoekerskant Dengra. Dan Bird. Met Milano op nummer 4. Oor het oor agter, oor sy kop. Maar Petersen is by en Oor is by op die 10-3 stiplyn van Suid-Afrika. Goeie verdediging deur Errol Tobias gewees. Porta wat nie wegkom nie. Bolman met hom voor te dribbel, dis 'n bietjie slordig. Vaste sprong. Dat bly op die veldhorlosie 4 minute speeltyd oor. Op die tellbord 6 punte verskil. 19-13 vir Suid-Afrika. Aansienlik beter as in Pretoria vir Suid-Afrika 'n week terug. Sarfontein wat laat van mening verander in het werk. Sansot uit posisie. Carlo Bessie wat opvolg. Sansot binnekant sy kwartgebied. 3 minute speeltyd door. Hugo Porta, die 33-jarige architect, meer as een opsig. Terloops, die 2 skrumskakels vanmiddag is gesamentlik 67 jaar oud. Milano wordt uiteindelijk bemister als Ferrara om vorentoe klap. Miguens, Porta. Hulle hardloop, Cuesta Silva, Sansot. Goeie verdediging deur Gerber. Weer eens Dani Gerber. Vlek die verdediging oop. Teruggeval is Barnard wat hem reflecteer. Strauss wat hem aanslaan. Maar het lijkt alsof het achter was. Miguens wat zelf een boor daar. En kijk hoe Boses is. Een van zijn mannen die bal smoor op de grond. Dat is Gustavo Milano en dat kan onmogelijk 3 punten kosten.
Een baie belangrike skop vir Harold Tobias. Die Springbokke is 6 punte voor. En as hierdie skop oor is, sal die Suid-Amerikaners 2 keer moet punte aanteken as hulle die wedstryd wil wen.
Interessant. Vanmiddag natuurlijk voor de eerste maal is daar niet net Zuid-Amerikaners onder de Jaguars nie. Maar is daar Thomas Pardo van Valencia in Spanje. Maar is die man van Caledon waar die aandacht wil hê. Hij skop baie goed vanmiddag. Hij zal nu beginnen met zijn rodotet. Het lijkt goed. Het lijkt uitstekend. En nou, zoals Otto Jekyll zei, zal die bezoekers, de Jaguars van die Spaansprekende landen, 2 maal punten moeten aantekenen. En voor de eerste maal werkelijk vanmiddag voel die schade dat Zuid-Afrika hierdie toets kan winnen. Toets wat baie mooi 3 opgeleverd het zover. 90 seconden spel oor. Porta wat hem hou bij zijn mannen. Thomas Pettersen wat hem inwacht. Klop vermeldt, begint drijven. Rob Lou Kiron, weggeneemd door Den Graas. Skitterende vastkop hierdie. Op die rechte oomlik die rug gegeven. Bal beschikbaar gesteld voor Pettersen, voor Minguez. Minguez, weet je niet waar. Maar het gaan werken als hij niet te diep is niet. Dat werkt. Minguez, kereltje van 24 jaar, student in Buenos Aires. Daar gaan Rodgers aan gooien. Goeie sprongwerk zover. Een keer van Visagi. Maar scheef. Interessant Otto hoe die bal met een hoge boog gegooid wordt. Want de Zuid-Amerikaners zit voor Minguez heel voor. Hij is een lang kerel. En gevolgelijk kan je niet vinnig en hard ingooien zoals wat de bedoeling aanvankelijk was. Zij op nummer 2 van Moelman. Maar het wordt hem draaien. Wordt die kwartlijn. Met de vastpak wees. En dan gaat Carlo de Zie. Porta weet hij ze met keer hier. Rob Lou wat verder neemt. Feitelijk op die kwartlijn van die Spaansprekenders. Zuid-Afrika op die oorlogspad. Sansot het ingekomen. Pettersen wat smoor. Tobias. Cindy Gapen. Loop hem vast in Porta. Steeds beheer oor die bal. Kinter is de plein van die Zuid-Amerikaners. Plus die Spanjaard. En die Fransman stopt die aanval. Speeltijd nou ambtelijk voorbij.
2 oupas van die loskakels in die wêreld en daar het die mekaar vastgeloop en ek kan nie sê wie die beste daarvan afgekom het.
Weer die Spaansprekenders klaar in die stootpositie. En Michael Lopesi. Wat gelukkig dat hij een beetje aandacht wil hê, is Sarfontein ook. Aan zijn medische collega. Ook die Cohen een beetje aandacht hê. Maar hierdie later stadium zal hij waarschijnlijk daar zonder blij. Nog een vastkop voor Zuid-Afrika. Wel het, Rob Lou. Weer een sport en ik denk die scheidsrechter gaan daar in blazen. Dat is ongeoorloofd spel. En na die voordeel loopt. En Palma waar die bal uitspot. Ja, ik denk, als we weer misschien daar naar kijken, ik denk dit kan vertolkt worden als een hoge vat door Porta. Maar ik vermoed die scheidsrechter was achter die spelers geweest. En dat hij dit niet duidelijk kon zien. Maar alleen de Spaansprekende. Dus die Miguens die hij is voor aan die lijn staan. Dat was Porta. Juist Porta wat vreemd 'n manier ontwikkel het om die aanvaller te bespring as het ware.
Ja, dit het 2 keer vanmiddag al gebeur, Peer.
Weer die wisseling, nommer 1, Den Graaf wat uitgaan als nummer 5. En Thomas Pardo, die Spanjaard, wat voorkomt staan teenoor Anton Barnard. 2 minuten aan beseringstijd. Wonderlijke sprong, maar de scheidsrechter rekent niet zo niet. En meen dat Rudy Versaghi opgehuisd is. Miguez, Porta. Lunes wat hem voor Ore geeft. En Ore kwartlijn zonder dat die man omkeert. 18 meter van de doellijn van Zuid-Afrika. Miguez weer eens. Porta. Die perfecte deurskoppie. Prachtig opgeteld door Diego Costa Silva. En ik denk Zuid-Afrika het oorgedraaid hier.
Ja, het is oorgedraaid.
Maar die wedstrijd is voorbij. Meneer René Oorke van Frankrijk vat die bal. Waarschijnlijk is een aandenking. En hierdie toets eindigt dan een overwinning.
It's a little too high. Under it is Diego Costa Silva. And the good possession back there from Miguez to Porta. And Porta looking cool, calm and collected. He has so much time to do everything. And with me I've got former Springbok and Western Province fly half and centre Dave Stewart. And I think, Dave, if Porta has a good game, that'll mean quite a thing for the Springboks.
Yes, as you said, he has so much time to do everything. Check. Well, we're looking for a bit more authority from the Springboks today. A bit more control. Moving the ball down the back line. Letting Mort and Carl Duplessis get into the game.
And Louis Moelman there getting his first line-out ball. Didn't quite manage to freeze onto it. And Defan Serfontein couldn't do much else than push the ball out. Now throwing in is Diego Cash. There is Rudy Versaghi. Behind him, Rob Lowe in the sunshine. And deep, Kula Pereira tried to get a very good pass there. Out of Porta, Tornej, Diego Costa Silva in a gap. This could be dangerous. He's got his wing with him. Out to the left of Palmer, but he didn't get his pass in. And cleaning up. Anton Barnard doing good work there for the Springboks. And Serfontein back there to Dani Gerber. Good kick into the box. Difficult one for Sansot over his head. And there is Palmer covering very well. Dodges Carl Duplessis, but tackled there by Rob Lowe. And the South American's going to get this loose ball. Good possession from the loose. And Miguez, the number 8. Porta caught in possession. Don't often see that. Tornej in a gap. This could be very dangerous again. And a good kick by Tornej puts them onto the attack. That is the Springbok 22-meter line. So far, the Jaguars winning the loose ball, being very quick to the point of breakdown.
Yes, Miguez had strung off going in very bravely there to control that ball.
Chris Rogers to throw in. He's been practicing his throw-ins. And Louis Moelman going for it very well. Back to Tobias from Serfontein. And a good kick by Tobias. That'll put him right for the game. He had a lot of pressure from Cash, the hooker, and from Thomas Peterson, the blonde flank forward, but he did what he had to do. Diego Cash again. Referee wanting those two separate lines. Tap back by Ure. Coming round is Miguez, the number 8 forward, but a big penalty for... Yes. Dave, against Adi Strauss, he seemed to point at.
Yes, quite definitely Adi Strauss. Going in a little carelessly, that's unnecessary. You can't give away penalties there.
Well, this is a very good opportunity for Hugo Porta. It's midway between the Springbok 22 and the halfway line, and it's about 16 meters in from the far top. Rudy Versaghi. Where will this go? Moorman, two-handed catch, beautiful, but I think that is for perhaps lifting in the line out. Yes, the referee clearly saying that's for the Springboks being lifted in the line out. They were penalized twice in Pretoria for that during last Saturday's test, and the referee, Monsieur Urke from France, being very definite there with his decision. And it's good that he gets onto these things early on in the game, and it'll make the Springboks resist any temptation to do that again.
I think what made it more noticeable, there seemed to be a bit of a timing breakdown between Chris Rogers and Moelman. Then Moelman went up a little bit early and made it a bit more obvious, I think.
Yes, so Porta with a kick from about 7 meters in front of halfway, and he's hit it beautifully. No, but it's just to the right of the post. Hughes takes it and dotted down, 22 dropout. And up to block it is Diego Cash, number 2. Tobias getting his guys behind him, kicks off the other way. Chasing it is Jose Maria Palma and Sansot. Sansot taking it. And that rolling kick, very well controlled. There he is, Martin Sansot. Had a fine rugby career until in 79 he was injured against the All Blacks. Now he's making a comeback. Played very well in Pretoria last week. Chris Rogers. There's Mr. Steve Stradom behind him, the touch judge. Number 7 is Ure at the back. And he tapped it back. Good work by Pedersen. Thomas Pedersen going back in. No wanted from this ruck. But the referee has blown up, has decided it will not come down. And Springbok ball. That's the Springbok 10 meter. I see how flat the Argentinian chaps line up when it's the other team to put the ball in, almost parallel with the halfway line. Interesting that the Springboks using the method of skipping a man to get it out to the wings, missing out one of the centres to get it down the line before their adversaries up on them. And a good kick by Serfontein, a lovely rolling kick round the blind side. Stefan Serfontein playing his 19th test and his 2nd as captain. He's played over 100 games for Western Province. And here he is in front of his home crowd. Sometimes called the Little General. Very much in command at the moment. And can the Springboks win this line out? It's Cash to throw in. They'll probably use the back of the line out a lot today with Ernesto Ure, number 7 right at the back. Where will this one go? Just outside the Jaguars 22. Went right to the front of the line out there. And Gustavo Milano going in, but referee not happy that it was straight. He asked the Springboks what they want. They could have another line out, but they choose the scrum. And interesting, the referee going around the other side to watch the collapsing of the scrum on Ati Strauss's side. Picked up a Mallet, blind side. Mallet, the little dummy, trying to get his pass away. In goes Kulu Ferreira to try to get back for the Springboks. And last man in, Anton Barnard, playing his 2nd test. Kulu Ferreira, whose real names are Petrus Stefanus, comes from Kroonstad, as does the other former Northern Transvaal flanker. And waiting for it, Serfontein to Bias. Gerber misses out a man again. Carl was the out to Johan Kiernes. Knocked forward, referee waiting for advantage. In there is Cuesta Silva and Sansot, helped by Ure. And Marcelo Campo going in as well into the ruck. The referee wants a set scrum. Last man up, Kulu Ferreira. Burger Geldernees is the other chap from Kroonstad. And put it in is Miguens, Javier Miguens, brother of the fullback, not playing today, Porta. And that's a well-controlled kick, well taken by Kiernes in the air, back into his 22, so that he can kick directly into touch. And a very generous round of applause from the Western Province crowd for the Northern Transvaaler.
Yes, he's a very special player, Johan Kiernes. When we arrived in New Zealand a couple of years ago in 81, we were picked up by Ivan Vodanovich, the old All Black coach. And he said if there was one player he would like to have in the All Black side from the Springbok side, it'd be Johan Kiernes.
Yes, he comes from George. His brother Chris played for Eastern Province at one stage. And that's Minguez. Back inside to Dengra. Thomas Pedersen. And lovely possession. Miguens out to Porta. Porta, little dummy. Had Ure with him. But he's dispossessed. Rob Lowe. Good tackle indeed. Good work by Mallet. And back to Serfontein. He hasn't found touch, but is into the no man's lane. Coming across for it is Sansot into his quarter. And directly into touch, but not one he'll be pleased with. It slid off the side of his foot. So this line out about midway between the Jaguars 22 and the half line. There's Louis Moorman playing his 20th test. But it's gone to the back to Kulu Ferreira and kicked on by Milano. The referee says it was knocked forward. Jaguars ball. John Bird scrumming against Anton Barnard. John Bird, the first Uruguayan player to play for the Jaguars. It's from the side that Porto will prefer, with the posts away to his right. There he is, perhaps the greatest fly half playing today. And it's got the distance. Wait for it all the way, and the Spanish-speaking side go into the lead after only 3 minutes of play, with a penalty by Hugo Porta and a very important kick to get.
Very, very important. That was slightly into the breeze. The Jaguars appear to have won the toss because the Springboks kicked off, so they're leading here, playing into the wind. And
taken there by Milano, and a good packer forwards there again. Dengra doing good work, and Thomas Pedersen, Migens, Porta almost slipping as he kicked, as he evaded the attentions of Rob Lowe. Interesting, using the foot furthest away from the touchline. Got his kick in. That's Gustavo Milano. John Bird in front of him. And it's Toots Rogers' throw near the halfway line. Taken there by Rudi Versace. Good ball, back to Serfontein. And a kick is going to go over the try line. And what will Marcelo Campo do? Decided to play conservatively, as it was Serfontein himself following up.
But there's one way of wasting the advantage of the wind. That's the way to do it. If Serfontein's going to kick kicks like that, I mean, really kicking into no man's land there, the Springboks aren't going to gain any control at all.
Porta under it for Sachi. Didn't take it cleanly. And see how quickly these South Americans come into the loose. They got it again there. And good work by Milano and Minguez. But the Springboks could arrest this ball from them. Very tight, loose ruck there, and the referee decides that it will not emerge, so there'll be a set scrum. Springbok ball. Jaguars leading 3-0. And Serfontein will want to get this ball. So will Rogers, holding it in the back row. Mallet picking up on the far side, trying to barge through, helped by Rob Lowe. But Springboks should get this ball back. They're going forward. Serfontein himself going in for it. Tobias misses out Donny Gerber. A long one out to Carl Du Plessis. He's going to beat his man. And the cover defense coming across is Porta there. Porta not going to get to the try all the way. Carl Du Plessis. Lovely score by the great Springbok winger. There he is. Obviously delighted. But a lovely crowd in this lovely try. And the big crowd really enjoying that.
There we have it again. Watch Serfontein pull that ball out. Down to Tobias, who skips Michael Du Plessis, and then the long pass to Carl, and watch him move so easily. Inside fullback, Sansot, and one of those tries that Carl makes look so easy. And not many wings would have scored.
Interesting, it's Donny Gerber taking the conversion and not Errol Tobias. 15 meters in, and he's hit it well. He just didn't move in quite enough, and the Springboks leading 4-3 by a try to a penalty goal. And there you can see it, 6 minutes gone in the first half.
Here we have the other view. Serfontein to Tobias. Tobias skips Donny Gerber, and Michael Du Plessis gives the long pass to Carl, and watch him outside Sansot. And steps inside the cover, and there's no stopping him. A typical Du Plessis try.
Despairing dive by Hugo Porta, trying to ankle tap him, but Carl Du Plessis running so strongly. And I think this crowd really will be in a good mood now, because they saw a lovely curtain raiser where the varsity side beat defence. We saw a super try by a young wing called de Grand Pré, long run, and it was a super game for a curtain raiser. 19-18, open rugby. And the crowd are hoping that they'll get a similar type of rugby now. Serfontein, scrum collapsing on the far side, and the Springbok tight head. Van Serfontein deciding to kick himself. Raymore chasing it all the way, but the ball has too many legs for both Donnie Gerber and Raymore. This line-out's going to be on the Jaguars' 22-metre line. There's Chris Rogers. And thrown in by Cash. Back to Ure, but bursting through is Kulu Ferreira. Now there's the platform. Serfontein to Bias. Michael du Plessis out to his brother, and there's Kunis. Johan Kunis cutting back inside, wanting to pick up some defence. Tackled by Tournage on the 22 of the Jaguars. In goes Milano, and Porta waiting for it. But back it comes to Michael du Plessis, but the referee not happy. There was a slight knock forward, and it's the Jaguars' ball. John Bird on the tight head.
So noticeable check that as soon as the ball's gone along the line, the Springboks look to be in complete control. Rob Lowe comes into the game and they start really getting good control of the ball.
That's Porta, a very good kick from his own 22. There he has 4 points to 3, the Springboks leading after 9 minutes in the first half. Front of the line-out is Serafin Dengra, who had such a great game. That's Ati Strauss. Behind him is